Right, UFC 310 reaction, biggest takeaways, all that good stuff. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so we'll see how we go. Generally, the card was average. Was there any surprises? Yes, actually there was. The surprise is that Kron Gracie hasn't made any adjustments. What the fuck does he think he's doing? I know everyone's probably going on about this and it's not exactly a hot take, but fuck me. What are we doing here? I know in his flat earther head he's doing something for the Gracie name or whatever. But if anything, he's tarnishing the legacy. I mean, any new fans that come along that don't really give a shit about jiu-jitsu and all that, they're going to see that it's an absolute laughing stock. First of all, I'm a 4-stripe white belt, all right? So I know the crack. I know my way around an Americano, all right? But that was ridiculous. Also, you hear people say jiu-jitsu doesn't work in MMA or whatever. There's so many good versions of good grappling in MMA. Chase Hooper earlier in the card. Like great attacking, all sorts of shit going on. Charles Oliveira, obviously. Just madness. Absolute madness. And sadly, Bryce Mitchell didn't get too crazy on the mic, which is always a bit of a highlight, isn't it? But we missed it. Never mind. Moving on. Right, was there any good storylines? I guess the big one is the 2 undefeated fighters in the co-main. It's a tough one with these two. First of all, yeah, Gary looked great and all that. I mean, he's still a twat. The thing is, right, they had these great undefeated records when they came in to fight each other. And it's all fun and games. But just when you stop for a second and look at their records, they'd both just fought the same average or old fighters and not really done anything too remarkable. So yeah, it's great to be undefeated with that many wins, and it's good to see 2 undefeated fighters fight each other. But it's not like fucking Floyd Mayweather, is it? Jeff Neal Magny. Oh my God. One of them might end up being a champion, or maybe they might both end up being champions. I think that's more something to say about the division than them. They're good. They're really, really good. They're not the top. If anything, I think Gary showed more. Shavkat, towards the end, he just looks a bit lost. Don't get me wrong. I was happy to see Shavy win, and I think it's possibly the better fight for Bilal. But I know, Bilal beats the shit out of both of them, and it ain't even close. It's such a shame that Bilal got his chance really a little bit too old already. If he got a title shot like a few years before he did, which, you could argue he should have, really, everything would look different. Either way, Bilal makes them both look stupid. Oh, and the other storyline, Pantoja calls out DJ. Whilst it seemed like it was out of left field, to be honest, what choice does he have? Although DJ has been on Instagram or Twitter already confirming that they've offered him money and he said no and he's just focusing on YouTube. It would be cool. I can't see it happening. And if DJ don't come back, Flyweight's dead, isn't it? Pull the plug. Right, controversies or bad decisions? Well, there's one that jumps out, isn't there? Volkov gone. First of all, Volkov looking like a fucking Stretch Armstrong version of Paddy Pimblett. Took me a second to adjust. Look, fuck the stats. We all know that Volkov won. Even Garn knows Volkov won. Everyone knows Volkov won. Even that judge knows Volkov won. I don't know what it is with... Well, I guess I know what it is with Garn. He's good looking. He's got a good personality. He's got an enjoyable to watch style, and Dana's trying to crack France. So I guess I know why they're pushing him, but it's just so annoying to watch it over and over again. And everyone keeps blaming the judges, and there's this whole narrative that the judges don't know what the fuck they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Is it not blindingly obvious that 90% of the time there's a robbery? It's nearly always in favour of the person that the UFC have got more stock invested in, or they're trying to push for whatever reason. I mean, it's as clear as fucking day, isn't it? It's favouritism. We know they do it. It is what it is. It's just such a shame to see someone like Volkov, who was on such a great run, coming back, looking really good, having a chance to put right a wrong, and then it just gets stolen from him. It is disgusting. Right, any takeaways? To be honest, my biggest takeaway is Kaya Segura is a lot of fun. I know he didn't get the win, but he came straight in at the top level of UFC fighting basically, possibly who's going to be the GOAT of the division. Really, when you think about it, he didn't have a chance, did he? And again, just another sign that there's just nothing they can do with that division. He comes in, he's all funny and quirky, like in all the interviews and stuff. And then he goes in there, puts his money where his mouth is, and is just crazy, fast, just really entertaining. I loved it, and I can't wait to see him fight again. I mean, just imagine him with Moreno. And I know I just said pull the plug on the flyweight division, but maybe we give him a year to prove themselves. Either way, fuck me. Imagine Steve Erceg and Kaya Segura. Take my money. Oh, also, side note, I only got another fucking Patreon, didn't I? Cedric, you legend. Welcome to the club. If I remember, I'll throw a link in the comments again. Anyway, back to the video. So unless DJ comes back, the flyweight's fucked. Shavy Baby's going to be taking on Bilal. Ian Gary's going to be searching for an easy win. In the card, in terms of standout moments, you've got to give it to Aljo and Evloev. I was just talking about Kron. That's what we're talking about. pretty much a whole fight of grappling, and the whole thing was entertaining pretty much. Like, I think there was a couple of little dips, but I was pretty much on the edge of my seat enjoying every second of it. It was almost a shame when they stood up and started striking. Really nice to see some high level and highly entertaining grappling. And the worst moment of the card was probably Anthony Smith. I mean, shit, that was depressing, wasn't it? I know he's a bit of a plonker, and I know it's weird, this experiment of watching this man with this crazy level of, like, illusions of grandeur and disconnect to reality of, like, who he is and how good he is and stuff like that. And it's really funny. In a way, I was hoping he'd win because it's just so funny watching him think he's the main character. But in reality, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but he lost his friend or something. I've missed that, but he was in bits and he was fighting recklessly and he just didn't want to be there. It was horrible to see. It's also crazy to just watch Reyes fight and all of this John Jones bollocks. John Jones running away from Tom Aspinall, fucking Dana sucking his cock. And then you're just watching Reyes, like, fucking receding, just fighting Lionheart, and just knowing what got stolen from him that's probably the most heartbreaking bit of it all, really. But yeah, very sad. And another sad thing was Nate the Train. I don't know about you, I love Nate the Train. Octagon interviews, the outside of Octagon interviews. I mean, his fighting style's pretty fun. He's never going to be a champion, but it's not all about that, is it? Sadly, I don't know if it was that he didn't show up or if he just met competition that's above his level. But yeah, it's sad to see him just get fucking taken apart, really. So I think that was all the big moments. Let me know if I'm missing anything. And then we got Colby Covington versus Joaquin Buckley, ending the year with a nice, interesting matchup. I have got mixed feelings with Colby. I find he's kind of funny, and I know obviously he's playing a bit, and he is really good at wrestling. There's a lot of things that I like about it, but he does take it too far. He is a bit cheesy. He's done a couple of shit performances. I don't know. I know most people hate him. Some people like him. I'm sort of undecided. I'm kind of the same with Buckley as well. Very eager, very athletic, lots to like. I actually think this is quite an intriguing matchup. I know we watched Buckley just power through and smash Wonderboy, and I know that Colby Covington looked like dog shit against Leon Edwards. But I don't know. I'm thinking old money. When Buckley was on Rogan, he was saying himself he's learning and putting this stuff all together in real time as he's going along with his career. When you think of Colby's wrestling accolades and them Usman fights, it's brute force or crafty vet. I've got this weird feeling that Colby's going to make it look easy and he'll worm his way in for a title shot. Or even better, hopefully, if he beats Buckley, I mean, we get Ian Gary and Colby Covington. It don't get much better than that. And that press conference will be a welcomed bit of hate porn for Ian Gary for us all. And they've just announced that in 312 is a Drickus and Strickland rematch. It's the fight that should be made. I know we're all excited about Khamzat the dentist, but this is the fight that should be happening. It's kind of a shame because it's a very close fight, and obviously it's completely feasible that Sean's going to win. And it'd be lovely to see him get the belt back, but Drickus versus Khamzat is the matchup. That's the one we all want to see. It's the far more interesting matchup. So while I like both fighters, for the landscape, I'm just going to have to be rooting for Drickus on that one, I think. So there we go. All right, card. Next week, Thursday or Friday, I'm going to do the YouTube channel tier list. You guys voted for it. I'll try and make it a good one, and I'll see you then.